जाकी नाम त्याये बिन नावे पूज न होए बिन नावे पूज न होए
वाहिगुरु 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 प्यारे प्यारे बच्चों प्यारी साथ संगत जी hold your hands like this अपने हाथ प्यार ना दो right up and down like that और प्यार ना with love in your heart and respect for your guru प्यार ना फतेह बुलाओ जी वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह Good job boys and girls. Welcome back to another wonderful, spectacular Sunday evening youth Debate. The official name, as you can see, Sunday Youth and Friday Debate. And when I look out into the Sangat, I see exactly that. Jo ki bahut khushi wali gal hai. I see family here and I see youth as well. And I'm trying to get my phone out. Before we even start today, boys and girls, we have a really interesting presentation for you. But before we start, I have some reminders for you. I've got them right here. Reminder number one. Remember, we always do prize draws, so if you want to get your ticket, you have to come before 6 o'clock. As we always have some kids who come late, but always try to come before 6. Once you get your ticket and you come into Guru Darbad, the ticket should not be in your hand. It should be in your pocket. And if you don't have a pocket, maybe next time we work up pretty that we can put our tickets inside. But do not play with your ticket. What happens if you do play with your ticket is, unfortunately, we have to take it away, and we do not want to do that because we're supposed to be happy when we come to Guru Darbad. Do not play with the cones. We don't have many cones out here today, but if you are sitting next to a cone, just ignore it. Don't touch it. And number 3, if you are one of those wonderful kids who answer a question today and you get a prize, like I said, keep the prize in your lap or in your pocket and don't play with it. We have beautiful, I forget what we have for prizes today, but you'll see when you get it. Okay, some of you are so excited to answer questions, you get on your knees, and you have your hands up like that, and guess what happens when you get on your knees, right? The person behind you can't see, so you want to stay seated, and somebody will come to you. And the last request or reminders, whatever you do not talk into the body. That one really doesn't count because I know you guys from last week and the week before, you guys do not talk during Guru Darbad, and that is a wonderful sign of respect. So good for you. Before we start, we have something different that we're doing this week than last week. You know how we have somebody walking around with a wireless mic? Well, we have 3 sevadars now. We have 3 sevadars and we've divided their area, and you have to be careful. Hopefully they don't step on you. They're pretty good girls. We're going to get them to do a sound check. So I'm going to ask Tejpreet Kaur. Your microphone should be on by now. Can you say Vaheguru?
Vaheguru.
Okay, that was her. So that microphone's working. Next is the number 2. Who's okay? Shubhe Kaur. Can you say Vaheguru?
Vaheguru.
Okay, that microphone's working. See, technology is so cool. And the third person is Tanjot Kaur.
Vaheguru.
Great. So just to let you know, that we've done this to make our Darbad better. It's easier for 3 people to access all of you with your hands up rather than 1 person. They've divided up the section, and if somebody's walking in front of you and standing in front of you, you know what? Just be patient. So here we go. We have so much to do and so little time, boys and girls. We have so many birthdays, but we have our topic for today. Now, I want you all to be not sensitive, I want you to relax as I go through this presentation. Don't get too emotional. We're here to talk, and we're doing it in the presence of our Guru. Let me tell you something about your religion. Guru Babaji tells you a lot of things that you should be doing in your life. He also tells you things that you should not do. But guess what? Babaji does not force you. He says, you know what, you're a smart kid. You've got a brain. I'm going to tell you what you should do. I'm going to tell you what you should not do. You make the choice. And that is one major thing we have as human beings, the power to choose. And we have to decide what is right and what is wrong. And then you make the choice, and guess what? You have to live with the consequence. Okay? We do that at school all the time. You make a bad choice, something bad happens. You make a good choice, something good happens. Everything Guru Babaji tells you is for your own good. If you follow Guruji, good things are going to happen. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I'm going to be presenting an idea to you, and at the end of the day, at the end of our darbar, ਬੱਚਿਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਣਾ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮਾਪਿਓ ਸੋਚਣਗੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਫੈਸਲਾ ਕਰਨਾ. So ready for this?
Yes.
11th annual Shiti Smagam. Look at the top first. We have 1984. Never forget 1984. We've got a calendar that says October 31st, and it says 11th annual Shiti Smagam. Okay, that's one thought. That's one idea. That's one piece of information. Now below that, it says why Sikhs should not celebrate Halloween. Now, if you do celebrate Halloween, that's totally fine. I just want you to relax and hear me out today. But the question is this. Why are those seems like two very different pieces of information, why are they on the same slide? We have Shiti Smagam and we have why Sikhs should not celebrate Halloween. And at the top, this is being put on from the Goodman Center in alliance with working together with this very Gurudwara. So let's see what we have here. Okay, first of all, for those of you who are familiar with the Shiti Smagam, there are 11 days left. So the big event, you know what, repeat after me, just so you know the word, right? I'm going to say Shiti Smagam. Okay, you have to repeat after me. Shiti Smagam. Shiti Smagam. Well done. If you don't know what that word means, we're going to be talking about that, but keep that in mind. Boys and girls, 11 days left for this huge, incredible program that's happening right here in this Gurdwara. 11th annual means this is the 11th year that we're doing this program. It's been 11 years that we've been doing this. And there we have the official card with the sign. And we have on the very right-hand side, never forget 1984. So what are you thinking now? You're thinking, something really important must have happened in the year 1984, right? That's why it's on the screen. You guys are smart, you know how to take a hint. And of course, the program's happening on October 31st. Does that date ring a bell for you, October 31st? What's happening on October 31st? Go ahead, my microphone people. What usually happens? Something popular that happens on October 31st.
Shahidi Smagam.
Okay, that is totally right. You're 100% right. There's another event that happens which is famous worldwide. So my next person, who's in section number 2, you're going to go with your mic. That's you to do. We're slowly learning our roles.
Halloween.
Correct. On October 31st, there's 2 things happening, Shiti Smagam and Halloween. Okay? And I want you to keep that in mind. Okay, here's my next slide. So, you know we have 2 things happening on Halloween. One we have our Shiti Smagam and the other we have Halloween. And they're both happening on the very same day. So, here's a question for you, which you're going to answer in your own mind, and you're going to answer when you get home with your parents. I can't answer that for you, right? I can't do that for you. You have to make up your own choice. Here's a question. Where should you be on October 31st? Should you be in the Gurdwara? Don't answer. Should you be in the Gurdwara?
Yes.
As a part of the Shiti Smagam? Or should you be trick-or-treating Halloween? I've got a question mark there, but I am going to tell you the answer. I'm going to tell you my answer. And I'm not trying to influence you, but I'll tell you my answer. This is my personal answer. I believe you all should be right here in this Gurdwara for the Shiti Smagam. But you know what? That's just my opinion. Let's see if I can convince you all to come here. Okay, so our whole topic for today is 1984, the Shiti Smagam versus Halloween. Let's talk about it. You know why I have the word let's talk about it? Because Guru Babaji says to us, when you have a problem in your life or there's a question that you need answered, you need to talk about it. Your parents need to talk to you. You need to talk to your parents. And I know you guys don't like it when you go up to your parents and you're like, Mom or Dad, why don't we do this or can I do that? And they give you a one-word answer, which is no. And then you ask, well, why not? And sometimes you don't get an explanation. I want to make sure you guys get a full explanation today, okay? So let's talk about it, okay? Should you go trick-or-treating or should you come right here and go to the bar? And what is the Shiti Smagam? Okay, first of all, boys and girls, we have to learn about the history of Halloween. And I'm not going to take too much time, but there's a history behind it. So these are the questions we're going to answer today. What does the word Halloween actually mean? Where did it start? When did it start? How did it start? Very interesting. Festival of the Dead. Oh my God, what is that? Where did costumes come from? Why do people go door to door? And what does Halloween mean today? And what does it mean to us as Sikhs? Number one, boys and girls, what does the word Halloween mean? The word Halloween is the shortened version. I'm going to stand over here. Like that, my laptop around. Okay, what does the word Halloween mean? Well, if you didn't know, the word Halloween is a shortened version of the term All Hallows Eve. And people are lazy, so they just put it all together. They came up with Halloween. That's what the word actually means, All Hallows Eve. Okay, so what? Where did it start? Not in Canada, not in China, not in India, not in Punjab. Nothing to do with India. The festival of Halloween started in Ireland and Scotland. Here's my pointer here. If you look at that little yellow area there, that is Ireland. And north of the United Kingdom is Scotland. This is where it started. Nothing to do with even Canada. United States, absolutely not. Okay, when did Halloween start? Now remember, our religion, Baba Nanak, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, approximately was here and started the Sikh religion about 500 years ago. Well, Halloween is much older than that. It started in the Middle Ages. High school kids know the medieval times. About 1,500 years ago. That's 1,500 years ago when this all started. How did Halloween start? Well, it started with a celebration called, and you pronounce it Samhain. I know it's spelled with an N, but that's how you pronounce it. And this is where the spooky stuff comes in now, just to let you know. It means summer's end, which is the start of the darker half of the year. You know, after summer, the days get shorter, they get darker, more gloomy. And also at this time, the celebration was related to the Festival of the Dead. And there's our zombie guy walking around. Because people don't usually walk around like that, right? Okay, what is the Festival of the Dead? The boundary between the living and the dead becomes so thin. What does that mean? You and I are alive, and when somebody passes away and somebody dies, they're gone. That's it. But these people believe that on that day, the boundary between living people and dead people was so thin that spirits could pass back and forth. Okay? And they wanted to get rid of the harmful spirits, and so family and friends were welcome. See, you're wondering, like, why Halloween? Why scary? Why the masks? This is why. Festival of the Dead. Now, where do the costumes come from? Ebi Galhegia. In order to scare off the evil spirits, people would wear scary costumes. So people, this is the idea. They go, you know what, if a ghost comes to my house to scare me, I'm going to dress up so scary, I'm going to scare the ghost. That was the idea. So if you look like a normal human being, it's not going to work. So ghost is going to come, you dress up even scarier, and then the ghost is supposed to get scared. So the more scarier the mask, the more quicker the spirits will leave your home. That's where the costumes come from. Okay, now why do people go door to door? Why do people go door to door asking for candy? I call it begging, but don't be offended if I use that word. Irish farmers from Ireland, they went door to door begging for food. They would beg. And if anybody gave them food, they would use it for the celebration. Now, check this out. They would promise good luck to those people who gave them food, and then they made threats to those people who didn't. This is where we get the trick or treat. Do you know what trick or treat actually means? Go up to somebody's house, knock on the door, they open the door, and you're asking them. You say, would you like a trick or a treat? Would you like a trick or would you like to give us a treat? So if they give you a treat, you say good things about them, you're happy, and you go home. But those people, and this is what happened back then, who would not give anybody any food, and those people would play a trick on them. So if they didn't give them any food a long time ago, then they would curse them, and they would swear at them, and they would say mean things to them, and they would threaten them. So that is where that came from. So the idea here is this: when you go to somebody's house, which we're not going to go, but if you go to somebody's house, and some people do this, if they don't get candy, then they destroy property, or they be mean, or they throw eggs and stuff like that. That's where this all came from. Of course, we don't do none of that. Now, what does Halloween mean today? So fine, forget about the Ireland, the Festival of the Dead, everything that we just talked about. That's 1,500 years ago. My question to you is this: what does Halloween mean today? And I think everybody knows this. Okay, very simple. Bas ahi do galan hai bachyo. And I think, do you agree with me? Basically, Halloween, this is what it means. Do you agree with me? Put your hand up if you agree. Yeah. Most of you, half of you. Okay, hands down. I want to talk about candy and costumes. Okay? If you talk to any regular kid, why do you like going trick-or-treating? First they'll say, well, you get so much candy. And the second thing they say, we get to dress up with our costumes. Let me talk to you about candy. I've got a happy face on both sides. You know why? Because candy makes you happy, of course. I want you to know candy is not like something really, really bad. Let's just admit, candy, everybody likes eating sweet things. We like eating candy, we have ice cream. Candy's, in that sense, candy's not bad, but I'll tell you when it's bad. When you guys eat too much, or you eat the candy, you don't brush your teeth, okay? It's like, I want to stand here and guru water let you know, I'm the last one who's going to stand up here and tell you candy is bad. Because if candy's bad, then we have to get rid of the jalebis and the linder too, right? We can't just get rid of the Kit Kats, we have to get rid of the jalebi and we have to get rid of the laddu. So, sweets in general are okay for you to eat as long as you do the following. Here's my advice to you, bachcho. Candy khani hai, khao. Thodi khao, and then immediately after you must brush your teeth. Then candy is okay. But if you eat too much and you don't brush your teeth, that's when candy is bad. Okay? So I understand that. I want you to know candy is like not evil. Okay? Candy is not evil. Now, speaking of candy, yesterday we had over 80 people who met us downstairs in the basement, and we all got together and we did candy packing. We packed candy bags. 600 to be exact. Lots of candy. And we had there was so much candy there, it was like a dream come true for a lot of kids. But they did a really wonderful job, and it took us only basically an hour, hour and a half. We were done packing 600 bags. Every single bag should look the same. Why are we packing candy? You're gonna find out, you're gonna find out. Okay, let me talk to you about costumes. I want you to know right here for the record, boys and girls, costumes are not a bad thing, okay? Costume, you got your Optimus Prime, you got Spider-Man, you got Captain Jack Sparrow, right? Your pirate, and of course, a princess. Okay? We like princesses, right? By the way, boys and girls, do you know what middle name Guru Gobind Singh gave you? You have a middle name.
Singh.
Oh, you can't call it out. Somebody's got their hand up in my microphone, people gotta go running. What is that special middle name that was given to girls by Guru Gobind Singh Ji?
Singh.
Singh, okay, that's for boys. How about for girls? What's that special middle name? Anji, and she's walking over. Kaur, can you say that one more time?
Kaur.
Thank you. Sare bolo Kaur.
Kaur.
Again, it's with a kakka, right? Kaur.
Kaur.
Okay, next question. What does that word mean? What does the word Kaur mean? Like you have this middle name and it's on your birth certificate, you have to know what it means. I think the joke is next, right? Right here. Come on, man, jump into action.
Princess.
There we go. The word Kaur means princess or lioness. So when we talk about Kaur, this is not what we're talking about. That is not a Kaur, that is like a Cinderella wannabe. And you do not want to be like Cinderella because, actually Cinderella, to be honest, she was a really hard worker and her evil stepmother made her do all the work. And she did a really good job of cleaning the mansion. You watch Cinderella. So she is actually a hard worker. But to be honest, this is not the type of princess Guru Gobind Singh made us. He made you into princess warriors. So always remember that that's your middle name. And we're really strong and we're confident and we're independent girls. Because our father is Guru Gobind Singh. Now, look at all these costumes. I have nothing against costumes, I'll tell you why. Costume ko mari cheez nahi. And this is the reason. The research for the last 15 years calls, there's these words they came up with. Fantasy play, dramatic play, this is for the parents, imaginative play, call it pretend play, or role playing. When little children put on costumes and they fly around their living room thinking they're Superman, or they're pretending they're playing teacher, or let's go shopping, or they're trying to make sabji with plastic sabji. You guys all do this? Or you're playing doctor, and you end up breaking your brother's leg or something. No, you would never do that. Vaheguru. Vaheguru. Research has proven that pretend play is actually a really good thing for you. There's nothing wrong with it as long as you're safe. So if your parents go out and buy you a costume, and you think you're Spider-Man and you're playing and you're doing all that, or you're like a warrior or whatever you are, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually healthy. It's actually a good thing to use your imagination. I could go on and on about the benefits of doing role play, but I want you to know there's really nothing wrong with costumes. So now you're probably asking, if candy is okay and costumes are cool, then what's our problem with Halloween? We're gonna answer that. Okay. So what's the big deal? That's what I have there. Because you guys are like getting the idea, right? Candy ki chalo thodi ji khali, koi madi gal nahi. Costume, you play, you guys always play, you dress up. So then why not celebrate Halloween? Right? Let's see why. Okay, I'm going to give you, boys and girls, your top 10 reasons why you shouldn't celebrate Halloween. And remember, the choice is yours. We're not going to force you. You're going to make a decision. Reason number 10. It's unsafe going to a stranger's house and taking food. ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਛੋਟੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿਛਲੇ 20 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਹੈਪਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੈਂਡੀ ਲੈਣ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੈਂਡੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਦਾ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ somebody people put poison in the candies ਤੇ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ so I'm not making this up and I'm not trying to scare you I want you to know that this has happened many times that it's unsafe to actually go to take food from people you don't know and to go to strangers' houses. A very good reason number 10, and the police would agree with this. Reason number 9 why you shouldn't go trick-or-treating. It's nothing more than begging, and I have to explain that. It reinforces greed. The more houses I go to, the more candy I get. So I want to keep going and I want to keep going, and then I'll have a big bag full of candy, and it's all going to be mine, and I'll take it to recess every single day, and I'm going to hide it from my brothers and sisters. I'm even going to hide it from my mommy, otherwise she's going to throw it away. It reinforces greed. The Guru Babaji says, if you're a Sikh, you are not greedy, you actually like sharing what you have. So that's reason number 10. 9. Reason number 8. Damaging. Halloween causes lots of damage to property, people get attacked, personally people get hurt. I'm not saying you guys do this, you guys are wonderful kids, but Halloween brings out those people in our society who are very, very mean, and they choose that one day to hurt people. So that's reason number 8. Reason number 7, it's unhealthy. Now this one we might get in trouble with a little bit because if you come to the Shidi Smagam, we're going to give you candy too, but it's true. All that candy is unhealthy. Your teeth get wet, diabetes, obesity. I want you to know, boys and girls, eating healthy is so important. Why? In our Punjabi community, diabetes, sugar di bimari is totally on the rise. Change bhale log, tusi unna dekho shareer hai badhiya, dekhno fit ne, but they have diabetes. So we have to really fix our diet. So yes, don't go trick-or-treating because the candy is unhealthy. Although we're going to give you candy on Shidi Smagam. But our candy that we give you is with a condition. The condition is that you can only eat as much as your parents tell you, and you have to brush your teeth right away. Okay, reason number 6. It's expensive. All the candy, first people go buy candy, they get it ready for you, and you guys go trick-or-treating, the costumes, all the Halloween parties that they have. It's actually a big waste of money. And I know we bought candy for you guys, but there's a reason for that. Because we want to get you off the street. What if we told you, boys and girls, don't go trick-or-treating, come to the Gurdwara, we're going to give you makki di roti. You'll be like, excuse me, did you mean Smarties? No, I meant aloo wale parothe. I like aloo wale parothe, but that's not candy, Devi. So there's a reason we have candy. We're trying to get you in here. Reason number 5. It's commercialized. Stores make money just like Christmas and Easter. It's a waste of money. You know, if everybody stopped celebrating Halloween and they said, we're going to take all our money, we're going to feed the hungry, or give to the needy, or give to the poor, how much better our world will become? Reason number 4. It's known as the Festival of Dead. So let me get this straight. You are the sons and daughters of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Guru Granth Sahib Ji is our Guru. And you're going to dress up as a scary monster and celebrate the Festival of the Dead. Just yell out the answer, yes or no. Would Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj be proud of that?
No!
Maharaj कहने लगे थोनो जीवन देना. We want to give you life. बाणी पढ़ के बड़ो मर्जी बड़े. ते असी शक्ल बिगाड़ के we dress up as monsters and we act like we're the living dead for the Festival of the Dead. Does not make sense. Ek gal somjh nahi. Reason number 3. When Guru Babaji is watching you, and he's watching you, and he's watching you, and he sees my Guru Sikh continuously does things that have nothing to do with the Sikh religion, you sort of lose the Guru's favor, what we call, or his blessing, obviously. You know, at home when you keep on being bad and you don't listen to your parents, what ends up happening? Your parents get upset with you. They're like, you know what? Just don't talk to me. I'm upset with you. Now, Guruji never gets mad or upset, but what Guruji Babaji does is he realizes this person is just not getting it. And then, you know what? You might lose some very important blessings. Reason number 2, now this is the most important thing here, okay? We have our own special history to celebrate and remember on October 31st. Pyare bachio, if this entire event of 1984 would have happened maybe in Delhi, 1984 would have happened in, let's say, April, we probably wouldn't have been talking about Halloween. But I want you to know, the exact day of Halloween, October 31st, is the exact same day that something so major happened in our religion, in our history. We cannot ignore it. Okay? We have our own special day. We have our own special day on October 31st. And I'll tell you what that is. And reason number 1, it actually has nothing to do with our religion. Absolutely nothing. You can read all the history you want. Nowhere in Guru Granth Sahib Ji is it written that Guru Gobind Singh Deti Putter should dress up as ghosts and go begging for candy. We don't beg. We just don't do that. So, if you're sitting there thinking, let's see, the Gurmat Center and Kalgita Darbar are like, what kind of idea are they coming up with? Are they fanatical? Are they like crazy? I want you to know we're not the only people in the world that believe Halloween should not be celebrated. Right? Other people agree with us. Halloween is not a part of any major world religion. Okay? I have Christian friends, okay? And they're like, we don't celebrate Halloween. It has nothing to do with Christianity. Sikhism, Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, none of the major religions celebrate Halloween. Here's a poster put up by the police. Sorry, no trick or treat. This is a poster put up by the Metropolitan Police in the United Kingdom, in England. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of posters really quickly. Just to let you know, we're not the crazy ones. There's other people out there just as crazy as us. No thanks, trick-or-treaters. Sorry, no trick-or-treating here. I didn't make that poster. And it says, please respect our wishes. We want you to respect your Guruji and come to the Gurdwara. Do not disturb. So trick-or-treaters, we hope you have a happy Halloween. Please do not call here. That means don't knock on our door. Kalgita Darbar did not make this poster. This is happening worldwide. How about this one? Please respect the occupants' wishes. No trick-or-treat. Don't be a monster on Halloween. They mean like don't bother people, right? If somebody has their lights off and they have a sign out, doesn't mean you go at their house. We're not the only ones. Okay, this is interesting. The King Road Mennonite Brethren Church, right here in Abbotsford, they are doing exactly what we're doing. They do not want their little wonderful Christian boys and girls to go trick-or-treating. So they're giving them this option here. They have called, you're invited to the Jungle Book Fall Extravaganza. Come enjoy a fun night of games for the whole family. So they have a whole bunch of games there, and they have food there. And guess what's happening? Look at the bottom there. Thursday, October 31st. देखो जो असी काम लगे ना गुरुद्वारे वाले यही चर्च वाले हमने शुरू कर दिया Halloween कोई बढ़िया चीज नहीं. So the church is trying to get their kids into the church. We're trying to get you guys into the Gurdwara. After coming my granny and kids in Delhi, I'm going to say something about the church, not because it's against the church. We love all religions, but when I was reading on the website there, every kid who comes to the church on Halloween to celebrate the Jungle Book, if they want to play games, they have to buy a ticket. If they want to eat food, they have to buy a ticket. You have to pay money. If they want to drink something, you have to buy a ticket. And the reason I bring this up is because in the Gurdwara, wherever you go in the world, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj Ji Ehi Kamal hai, langar, sitting up here, anything that you need from the Gurdwara, you will never, ever, ever be charged. Free. Seva, Sangat. So just keep that in mind. When you guys come over to Shahidi Smagam, you're going to get so much that all Guruji wants in return. Actually, let me ask you. You come to the Shahidi Smagam, you get French fries, pakode, ice cream sandwiches, pizza, candy, there's gatka, presentations, Coke, all that stuff. Prizes, sorry, grand prizes, iPods, big prizes, small prizes. Let me ask you a question. Guru Babaji gives you all of these things. Can somebody tell me what he wants in return? It's a good question. I mean, you're going to come that night, you're going to get so many things. What does Guru Babaji want from you in return? Somebody's answering, just stay patient.
Remember 1984?
Okay, that's a good answer. He wants you to remember 1984. It's actually a really good answer. What else does Guru Babaji want in return? Come to the Gurdwara, you have so much fun, you get so many things. Hanji.
Don't celebrate children.
Okay, alright, don't celebrate Halloween, but let me say this again. You're going to get so much when you come to the Gurdwara. What do you give back to Guru Babaji in return? It's a hard question. Oh, Kaswala. Yes, next person.
For you to do something?
What did? Shabash. He says, Guru Babaji, what does he want in return? He doesn't want your money, he doesn't want your clothing, kapade, cars. All he wants you to do in return is to do Simran, is to remember God, and to do your part, and to never forget 1984. Bolo Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. Wahe Guru. How much did that just cost you? Wahe Guru Kerna. How much did that cost you? Cost you nothing. It costs you nothing, and it's going to save your life. That's all Guruji wants in return. You're like, that's pretty cool. I get so many things. All he wants is your pyar and your simran. So just to let you know, we're not the only people telling you not to celebrate Halloween. Christians are involved, and so many other people as well. Let's move on. Let me quickly tell you about the Shahidi Smagam, and the next week we'll totally go into detail with pictures. Shaheed. So what is a Shaheed? It's a person. Maybe I should have asked that question. A Shaheed is a person who gives up their life for the truth or for their religion. Bolo, Shaheed. 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 So I want you to know, if somebody gives up their life for their religion or for the truth, they're considered a Shaheed. So if you're walking down the street, I always say, and you get into an accident, or somebody, not you, somebody gets into an accident and they pass away, you can't call them a Shaheed. Just because you get run over by a big truck and you die, you're not a Shaheed. It has to be the sacrifice of a life for what you believe in, which is the truth or your religion. That's what a Shaheed is. So that celebration on the 31st, we are celebrating all those brave people in the Sikh nation who gave up their lives for what? For the truth. Okay? Okay, what does a Shaheed have to do with October? What does a Shaheed have to do with October 31st? I'm just going to tell you briefly, and next week we'll really get into it. Did you know, but they were on this very day, October 31st, that Bhai Byan Singh became a Shaheed, and many other really important things happened in Sikh history 29 years ago. Not 500 years ago or 300 years ago. Something really important happened 29 years ago. In Amritsar, can somebody recognize that, once again, that beautiful building there? Hands up. Tell us what is it. Tell me what that's called in Punjabi. Not the Golden Temple. I want the Gurmukhi name. What is that beautiful place called? You should actually never call it the Golden Temple. We have the real name.
Mandir Sahib.
Hanji, Sri Harmandir Sahib. Very good. Harmandir Sahib. You have to really pay attention. This might be the first time some of you are hearing this. In 1984, the beautiful Harmandir Sahib, built by the 5th Guru, one of our most special Gurdwaras in the whole entire universe, was attacked by the army of India with guns and grenades and tanks and thousands of soldiers. And the beautiful building down, my pointer's not working, the picture at the bottom, that building, that Gurdwara is right in front of Harmandir Sahib. Anybody know the name? What is that Gurdwara called? It's right in front of Sri Harmandir Sahib.
Shri Akal Takht Sahib.
Sri Akal Takht Sahib. If you look at that picture, boys and girls, the building's destroyed, the Gurdwara is destroyed. Guess what the army did? They used a tank and they shot these huge bullets at it and they destroyed the Gurdwara. So the question is this, why would they do that? That is so mean. But that's what happened in June of 1984, and then October 31st, a lot of bad things happened in the city of Delhi, 1984. And you're just like hearing these words now, and you're like, okay, VG, you're talking about June 1984, you're talking about something that happened in New Delhi in 1984. We're going to tell you everything next week, but I want you to know, I didn't choose October 31st just to make your lives miserable, to make you not go trick-or-treating. There is a reason we're telling you not to do that and to come to the Gurdwara, because on that very same day, something so important happened in our religion. So who is by Beyond Singh? Why must we always remember 1984? We're going to talk about all of that, but I wanted you to get used to some of that vocabulary. Shahidi, Samagam, 1984, Amritsar Sahib, Delhi. Okay. Cultures and religions around the world never forget their history. Let me give you some examples. The Jews, the Jewish people, they never forget the Holocaust. Okay, Hitler killed approximately 12 million people. 12 million people. And his biggest enemy, or his biggest target, were the Jews, the Jewish people. And he targeted the Jews, and he killed so many of them. Well, guess what? The Jewish people will not forget their history, okay? They refuse to forget what has happened to them. You know how they remember? They built these huge 3-story buildings, and they call them Holocaust centers. And they open them up to the public, and they have all of the history in there. When anybody walks through the door, they say, let us share with you what happened to us with Hitler and how he killed all of our people. So ਕੋਈ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੈਠਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਇਹ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ 84 ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ Jewish ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਭੁੱਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਿਉਂ ਭੁੱਲ ਗਏ ਆਪਾਂ. So the Jewish people say we're never going to forget what happened to us. Remembrance Day, November the 11th. Every year, all across Canada and other countries, we have Remembrance Day. So people say, why would you want to remember those wars? So many innocent soldiers died. We want to remember them because we want to remember their sacrifice. And you do it, every single school in Canada celebrates Remembrance Day. And of course, when we talk about the Africans, or we have Black History Month in America, and that reminds us of what happened to the blacks with regards to slavery. Do you understand what I'm saying here? ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈ, ਇਹ ਜੀ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ 84 ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ? ਨਹੀਂ, ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ। ਕਾਲੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਲਾਮ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਸਦੀਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਭੁੱਲਦੇ। It's an official holiday, it's an official day in America when they celebrate Black History Month. All month long, they talk about the slavery. You know why? Because if you forget your history, history is going to repeat itself. If you forget, let me give you a quick example. You're walking in your backyard and there's a big hole in the backyard and you fall into it, you twist your ankle and you break, let's just say something really bad. You twist and you break your ankle. Ankle's broken. 3 months later you get better again. And you're going to the backyard. Is it a good idea for you to forget that big hole, or should you remember it? You should remember it. What happens if you don't remember it? You're going to fall in and break your leg again. History, if it is not remembered, we have to remember our history and prevent it from happening again. So we're not the only ones remembering. The Sikh nation has actually forgotten what has happened in 1984, and you guys, the new generation, you have to remember. Let's continue. Okay, now, what about the Sikhs? Now, I'm not putting this up here with the intention of insulting anybody. I just want you to know, sometimes, we start following people like sheep instead of being leaders. Guru Gobind Singh Ji ne Khalsa nu is waste pragat kita ki tu leader ban. Age lag lokan nu samjhao. Have a beautiful life, and then people will see you like, oh, what a wonderful human being. Look at all the Sikh is such a good person. I'm going to follow them. Instead, sometimes we start following other people like sheep. What does the middle name Singh mean? Somebody hands up. Singh da matlab ki hai? So my next speaker person, my microphone, she goes, what does the word Singh mean? Singh. Sare bolo Singh. Singh. A lion. Does that look like a lion to you? No. Tell me, are you sheep or are you lions? Lions. I can't hear you. Lions. That's right, we are lions. So you know when we become sheep? We become sheep when we start following things and people that have nothing to do with our religion. For example, देखो गुरु दरबार आप खड़े हैं अपने संगत जी ये बच्चे ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਮੱਤ ਦੇਣੀ ਆ ਮਾਰ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨਾ. For example, huge ਭੇਡ ਚਾਲ sheep follower thing that people are doing is, for example, the day of Rakhdi. I'm not going to ask you to put hands up if you celebrate or not, because I don't want to like bring you into everybody's focus. But you know it's a really big thing with Punjabis, right? When the sister ties that string around the brother's wrist and all that. I just want you to know, that has nothing to do with our religion. And it's actually promoting the indirect galami or it's an insult to all the girls who do that are clean and all that, but that's one example of something that we should never be doing. Guru Granth Sahib Ji does not support that, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji doesn't. But that's just one example, that we shouldn't be doing, but everybody's doing it. Okay, our gurus never celebrated Halloween. Just to let you know that. So if I ask you, hey boys and girls, who would you like to be like when you grow up? And if you put your hand up and you mention some actor or some singer or somebody in a Bollywood movie, I'd be really hurt, right? If we ask you, who is your role model? You should put your hand up and say, Baba Deep Singh, I want to be like him. The Guruji, the Chote Sahibzade, right? Madhapa Akor, right? Bibi Shir Kaur. All these people should be your role models. So if the Gurus never celebrated Halloween, why in the world are you celebrating Halloween? We want to be like our Gurus. Okay, this is something really important that Guru Gobind Singh Ji said. Your beautiful father, and what a cool guy he is. He says, Jab lag khalsa rehe niyara, tab lag tej. It says Kiyo here, and I think it should say Diyo Mai Sara. So guess what Guru Gobind Singh Ji says? He says, look, as long as you, my pyara khalsa, are following my rules and doing exactly what I want you to do, all of the power that I have, all of the glory and the praise, everything that I have is yours. Okay, that's what Guru Gobind Singh Ji says. He goes, as long as you remain distinct, like a Khalsa, not like, you have the pag on, you got the kirpan on, and you got like a kada, and you got the rakhadi in the other hand, not like that. Pure Khalsa. Jabla Khalsa rehe niyara. He goes, everything I have belongs to you. However, jab he vipran ki reet, main na karo inki prati. He says, listen, if you start celebrating and following things that have nothing to do with our religion, I will not trust you anymore. And you're going to lose my favor and my praise and my blessings. Jika ji, you have to understand that. Okay, let's continue. Now, in my remaining 5 minutes, okay, you kids are so smart, okay? You guys are intelligent. You guys are wonderful students. I want you to compare for yourself, and then you make the choice here. I want you to compare Halloween with Shidi Smagan. तुसी आप ही फैसला करना करी जाके पमा होने कर लो तो चंगा you're sitting Guru Darbar just quietly fold your hands and do the ardas and say Guru Baba Ji, you know what, it totally makes sense. I'm not going to go trick-or-treating, I'm going to come to Guru Darbar. Number one, you go to Halloween, you're begging for candy. You come to the Gurdwara, you get the candy for free, absolutely for free. Let me stop and tell you about the candy bags. When I was really, really young, I went trick-or-treating, I won't lie to you. And when I come home, I'd empty out my bag and I'd look through all the candy. I'm not joking. 60% of the candy that I got, 6 out of 10 pieces or 60 out of 100 pieces of candy was garbage. It was cheap, horrible candy. It's the kind of candy that you bite into and then like you break your tooth. I'm serious. It was cheap candy that you like bite into it and then it like stays on your tooth for like 3 days. Cheap candy. The candy that we're going to give to you, absolutely free, as a thank you for showing up to the Shidi Smagam, is like really, really the best candy. It's quality candy. We didn't get the cheap stuff that's going to break your tooth. Okay, Halloween. When you go trick-or-treating, boys and girls, you're with a parent and some friends. Come to the Gurdwara. You're with hundreds of people. That's what's going to happen. You'll be in Sangit with hundreds of people. You choose. Walking around with mom or dad, or with hundreds of people. You go trick-or-treating, you're out in the cold, freezing. You come to the Gurdwara, it's warm and cozy and beautiful and lighted and fun and safe. Trick-or-treat, you only get cheap candy. We're going to give you not just candy, sono. Okay, here we go. French fries, pakore, pizza, pop, ice cream sandwiches, prizes, slideshow, special guest speakers, and gatka I forgot. Now come on, you guys are smart. You tell me where are you going to get that for trick-or-treating on the street? Why would you go out there? Okay, next, Halloween, you're getting candy for yourself. Let's just face it, you go, you get candy, you're like, mine, look at all the candy I got. You come to the Gurdwara, you get the opportunity to serve other people, okay? And that is so important. We want to get away from being greedy. It's not about the me, it's about the we. Next, Go to Halloween, you're going to trick or treat for an hour. And then your mom's going to be like, Dad, we're going to get. Or your dad, maybe an hour and a half. You come to the Shiti Samagamam, you've got 4 hours of non-stop incredible fun. Like, come on, are you serious? 1 hour in the cold or 4 hours of incredible fun. And of course, when you go trick-or-treating, you don't get any prizes. Who's going to give you a prize? You're going to get cheap candy, right? Come to the Gurdwara, we have so many prizes for you, we have electronics, so much stuff. I don't know what else to say. Comparisons right in front of you. Oh, lastly, Halloween, very unsafe. The police are always telling you when you go out, please wear reflective clothing, wear bright clothing, wear glow-in-the-dark clothing, walk with a flashlight, be with a parent, stay in your neighborhood. Nothing like that exists in the world. This is the safest and the best place on earth. You don't need to wear any reflective clothing, wear what you like. It's so safe. There, safest place on earth. Your Guru Babaji. Halloween, scary. Okay, and of course when you go trick-or-treating, you don't get any blessings, right? What is somebody going to give you? I'll tell you what, they're going to give you candy. You're not going to get any blessing though. That blessing, that quote, Kirpa, can you say Kirpa? Kirpa. Again, say Kirpa. Kirpa. One more time, Kirpa. Kirpa. Okay, only the Guru can give you Kirpa. You can't buy that from Walmart, and you certainly cannot order that from Amazon.ca. Kirpa jo hai bachyo, you can only get from Guru Babaji. What is Kirpa? It's beyond a gift. It's beyond getting like 5 iPods. A kirpa, a blessing, is when Guru Babaji directly blesses you and gives you something that you really, really need and makes you a better person. They're going to wrap it up here. So, boys and girls, make the right choice on October 31st. Make the right choice and come celebrate the Shiti Samagamam with us at Gurdwara Sahib Kargita Darbar. This celebration is happening in Surrey as well and in US Gurdwara, okay? If you don't show up, still, you know, Guruji will still love you and we will too, but I just want you to know we're going to be a little sad if you don't show up. I'll tell you what, we spent a lot of money on the candy. If I tell you the amount of money, I know there's going to be parents sitting here. They're going to be like, oh my God, you actually spent that money. See, what your parents don't understand is, we love you guys and we want you to come to the Gurdwara. So we spent thousands of dollars on candy. The whole event cost over $10,000. So please come. Please come. Okay? But if you don't, we still like you. Guruji will love you, but you didn't make the right choice. Okay, so here it is, my last slide. The 11th annual Shiti Samagamam happening. It says Wednesday, that is totally wrong. That's a typo. It's Thursday, October the 31st, right here at Gurdwara Kargita Darbar. It's going to be crazy in a good way. So, next week, we're actually going to tell you what exactly happened in India, in Delhi, which in 1984, and after hearing this, I firmly believe in your heart, you're going to be like, oh my God, Viji, is that what happened to our own people? Is that what happened to young children, and ladies, and girls, and women, and the poor Sikh men? Is that what really happened to them on that day? You know what? It's my duty to come to the Gurdwara and learn about this rather than going trick-or-treating. So, we have a quick announcement to make, and then we're going to get on with Simran and our prizes because we only have 20 minutes left. Boys and girls, I have good news for you. What's the good news? Gurdwara Sahib Sukh Sagar in New Westminster is having what we call a Gurbani memorization competition. Though that's for those of you boys and girls who have actually memorized Gurbani, like Japji Sahib or Jap Sahib or Swaye. This is happening on October next Saturday. The notice is a little short, but it's happening next Saturday. And we have some fine gentlemen here, I believe, who will be registering names with this form downstairs. As always, there's going to be major prizes. I know U.S. Minister Gurdwara gives awesome prizes. We're talking phones and cameras and stuff like that, laptops. Age groups, 4 years and under. Next group, ages 4 to 6. And group 3, ages 6 to 8. Then we have ages 8 to 10. These are all different groups. Ages 10 to 12, 12 to 14, 14 to 16, and the last age group, 16 to 20. A show of hands. How many kids sitting here right now have Japji Sahib memorized? The complete Japji Sahib. Put your hand up. Okay, hands down. How many of you have maybe Chopi Sahib? Okay, we have like 6 people. So boys and girls, you know what we want? The reason we're doing all this is because eventually we want you to memorize Gurbani, which is the message that Guru Babaji has written in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. So you want to make sure if you are interested and you want to take part in this competition, you have all your Gurbani memorized, you want to downstairs when the gentlemen are there, you want to sign up for this competition. Tika?
पूजा की जय ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਈਐ ਬਿਨ ਨਾਮੈ ਪੂਜ ਨ ਹੋਏ ਬਿਨ ਨਾਮੈ